Business never sleep. Our concept, our brand, everybody waiting for us. We will open Mexico City, Monaco, Milan. 2025, I think our best year. Rome, Cappadocia, Istanbul. This is our 2025 opening plan. Our product, best of the best.
A lot of people got very angry, very sad and mad that Salt Bae was on the pitch. Why did you go onto the World Cup pitch after the final, touch the World Cup and kiss the World Cup? Touching the trophy, kissing the trophy. Do you understand why people were really angry?
This is the accident, my mistake. Before I don't know the rules.
So you agree it was a mistake?
I agree. It's my mistake. Our concept, our brand, everybody waiting for us. Business never sleep.
Restaurant closures, rapidly declining reviews, and his lowest growth on Instagram in over 6 years.
On January 7th, 2017, a 15-second Instagram reel titled Ottoman Steak detonated across the web. 16 million loops later, the planet had a brand new icon, Nusret Gökçe, aka Salt Bae. Flash back a decade. Nusret was a 6th grade dropout hustling as a butcher's apprentice in Istanbul's Kadıköy district. After backpacking through Argentine and American steakhouses, often working for free just to watch the Masters, he scraped together enough lira to open an 8-table joint in 2010. Picture this: no gold leaf, no celebrity paparazzi, just a skinny kid sharpening knives faster than rent was due. But every plate he served carried the swagger we'd soon call Salt Bae. What made the clip addictive wasn't the steak, it was the gesture. He flicked salt from wrist to elbow to meat, like dropping mic drops of sodium. Memes exploded. Late-night hosts reenacted the move, and A-list athletes lined up to copy it. Within 48 hours, the hashtag #SaltBae trended in 51 countries. When investors smell viral heat, they chase it with gasoline. In 12 months, the single Istanbul shop morphed into a globe-trotting brand. Patrons paid not for marbling or terroir. They paid to film the pose. And Nusret? He wasn't just plating steaks, he was bottling status. But when you build a fortune on a 15-second loop, the loop can always snap. In the coming chapters, we'll see how sky-high prices, scathing reviews, and a Trophygate scandal turned Salt Bae's sparkle into salt in the wound. Stick around, because the higher the sprinkle, the harder the fall. How do you turn a $275 steak into a $1,000 headline? Simple. Add 24-karat glitter and a sprinkle of ego. At Nusret, the $1,000 gold tomahawk isn't just food, it's a status prop. Edible bling designed for the front-facing camera, not the palate. Diners routinely film the gilding ritual, then upload the clip to rake likes that justify the bill. $99 for a milkshake that doesn't even flex. Social feeds erupted when an NYC tab showed $99 shakes and $10 sodas, proof that the markup wasn't culinary, it was theatrical. The uproar only amplified the mystique, drawing new crowds eager to stunt harder. Yet behind the glitter, reviews told a different story. London's Nusret plummeted to a 2-star TripAdvisor average, with critics slamming steaks as lukewarm hotel banquet quality and accusing the brand of flogging fear of missing out, not flavor. I've eaten $12 butcher shop ribeyes that outrank this gold leaf gimmick. This is the genius and the trap of Salt Bae's pricing model. He converted the dining table into a toll booth where social capital buys entry. If you can post it, you can justify it, until the comments roast you alive. Problem is, once the meme cools, the markup melts. When TikTok applause fades, all that's left is a 4-figure steak nobody wants to chew twice. But price gouging was only act 1 of the backlash. Next up, the people flipping those gold steaks weren't just underpaid. They say they were silenced, stiffed, and strong-armed. Stay locked for segment 3, where kitchen smoke turns into legal fire. The sizzle of those gold leaf steaks hit another sound, the clack of courtroom doors. Behind the velvet ropes, Salt Bae's empire was fraying at the seams, one lawsuit at a time. November 2019, 4 Manhattan waiters claimed their hard-earned tips vanished into a corporate salt shaker. They sue, alleging retaliation for simply asking, "Where's our money?" and walk away with $230,000 in an NLRB settlement. That settlement didn't just buy silence, it painted a target on the brand. By 2023, at least 7 suits accuse Nusret of wage theft, unpaid overtime, and discrimination. Former staff from 6 cities describe a workplace where dictator-style managers dock pay for mistakes, but dock dignity for sport. 2 ex-employees file a 2021 discrimination suit claiming non-Turkish servers were iced out of prime tables and prime tips, while Dominican and Filipino staff were told to swap into short skirts and heels to stay on the schedule. Each seeks $500,000 in damages. It looked gold outside, but shit inside. Ex-hosts recount 14-hour shifts with no breaks. Waiters say they were fired mid-service for bad vibes, and cooks describe a salt-dusted pep talk. If you don't like it, leave. There's a line of people outside. Salt Bae trends, memes of gold steaks morph into empty tip jars. Remember, viral fame cuts both ways. When disgruntled staff drop receipts, literal and legal, the internet serves subpoenas of its own. And yet, lawsuits were only the opening arguments. When investigative reporters started sniffing around, they found far more than missing tips. They found a culture marinated in misogyny and fear. Front pages roar to life. Business Insider, The Independent, Indian Express. Headlines slam onto screen. Tip theft and toxic culture at Salt Bae's empire. My bowel movements weren't even golden. The glitter is gone. What's left is a grease-stained autopsy of a meme-made mogul. April 26, 2023. Business Insider drops a 4,000-word investigation built on depositions, pay stubs, and 12 ex-staff interviews. The piece paints Nusret as a high-gloss sweatshop, tips siphoned into mystery pools, 14-hour shifts without breaks, and managers barking, "If you're not Turkish, you serve the cheap seats." Lower thirds tally the damage in real time. 7 active lawsuits, New York City and Miami, $230,000 already paid out. Claims of polyester uniforms that smelled like a fryer after 2 hours. The expose racks 4.8 million views in 48 hours, and near Salt Bae trends across X. While journalists sift through court filings, diners wage their own revolt. London's Nusret plummets to a 2-star average. The most liked review snarls, "IKEA cafeteria food at Cartier prices." A line graph draws the fall. Ratings fall from 4.2 to 2.1. The comment section becomes a firing squad. Every gold leaf post now attracts salt shaker emojis and gifs of burning cash. After Insider lights the fuse, outlets from lifestyle blogs to primetime tabloids rush in. The same Instagram theatrics that once minted free press now feed the backlash loop. Every clipped video of arm-sprinkled salt is recut with courtroom B-roll and sad trombone audio. Even Wine magazine VinePair runs a sidebar exposing allegations that half-drunk bottles were recorked and resold. Investment trackers note a 30% dip in London's 2024 profits and a spike in reservation no-shows. PR crisis firms quote 6-figure retainers. Potential franchisees ghost their LOIs. Staff leak internal Slack messages begging HQ for basic media coaching. When headlines sour and hashtags curdle, heavy doors start closing. Within months, velvet-roped entrances in Las Vegas and Beverly Hills fall dark, proof that reputational rot can hollow bricks faster than rising rent. The next segment follows that retreat across the US map. On January 30th, 2025, the Park MGM outpost that once hawked 1,500 golden tomahawks announced its curtain call. A press release promised a flashy relaunch elsewhere, but locals read it for what it was: a white flag retreat from a city oversaturated with marquee steakhouses. Just 5 months later, June 4th, 2025, the Beverly Hills flagship locked its doors without warning, 4 years after opening to red carpet buzz. Overnight, the marble foyer that hosted rappers and reality TV royalty turned into an echo chamber of unclaimed reservations. Closure wasn't confined to the West Coast. In May 2024, the meatpacking district in Manhattan lost its second Salt Bae restaurant within 18 months. Patrons arrived to find the salt sprinkle mural already painted over in primer, a casualty of soaring rents and evaporating hype. Internal filings show a grim scorecard. Dallas and Las Vegas shuttered in January, Boston went dark the winter before, and the TikTok infamous Salt Bae burger, home of the $99 milkshake, folded in 2023. every closing press release echoed the same line about international focus, but insiders whispered about empty weekend books and mounting lawsuits. By the start of summer 2025, the US footprint that peaked at 7 locations had collapsed to just 2, a Midtown Manhattan branch and the original Miami Beach store. 5 American cities, nearly 3/4 of the portfolio, had tapped out, confirming that viral fame can't paper over year-on-year operating losses. Landlords report months of unpaid CAM fees. Former staff speak of final paychecks arriving weeks late. Meanwhile, corporate social media doubles down on expansion teasers for Rome and Ibiza, a sleight of hand that can't hide the fact that US revenue once propped up 30% of global sales and now barely cracks single digits. Investors who bought into the meme at $2,000 per plate valuations are quietly writing down their stakes. Locked doors and dark dining rooms might have shrunk the empire's square footage, but Salt Bae's appetite for the spotlight didn't dim. In fact, it pushed him onto an even bigger stage, one where a single selfie with the world's most coveted trophy would ignite the next and most public backlash. December 18, 2022, Lusail Stadium, Qatar. Moments after Argentina's epic shootout win, Salt Bae shimmies past security, grabs the 18-carat trophy and plants a kiss for Instagram stories. FIFA's protocol is explicit. Only champions and heads of state may touch the cup. He is neither. Phone cameras catch him tugging, twice, at Messi's arm, begging for a posed photo. The captain's irritated side-eye goes viral before the chef can frame the shot. Minutes later, Salt Bae intercepts Angel Di Maria, Christian Romero, and even their families, wedging his way into once-in-a-lifetime portraits. Within 72 hours, the governing body announces an internal investigation into undue access to the pitch, a bureaucratic phrase masking white-hot embarrassment for tournament organizers. FIFA launched an investigation into Salt Bae and all pitch invaders. The US Open Cup cracks the first joke but lands a real blow, tweeting, "Salt Bae is hereby banned from the 2023 final." Fans and MLS clubs pile on. The post racks 17 million views in 24 hours. Pundits compare the stunt to a wedding crasher, elbowing into the kiss the bride photo. Memes explode. Users paste the chef sprinkling salt over Maradona, over the Mona Lisa, over tax bills. Anything precious and off limits. Restaurant phones light up, not with reservations, but prank calls asking to reserve the messy handshake. A London diner cancels a 4K corporate party, emailing, "We don't dine with trophy grabbers." Social sentiment analysis shows negative mentions of Salt Bae spike 410% week over week, dwarfing even the 2021 receipt gouging outrage. Internal WhatsApp messages, later leaked, reveal frantic HQ orders. Post-only food? No football. The damage is done. Every future marketing shot of the signature elbow sprinkle now triggers comments like, "Keep your hands off other people's cups." For years, Salt Bae sold spectacle. Now he embodied excess that crashed the biggest spectacle on earth. The World Cup fiasco didn't just taint a night of global joy. It positioned the chef as a gatecrasher to glory, reinforcing every allegation of ego and entitlement laid out in earlier scandals. Annual accounts tell the tale. Turnover collapsed from £13.6 million in 2022 to £9.3 million in 2023, a 31% nosedive. Profit before tax halved in the same span, sinking from £3.3 million to £1.7 million. Margin down from 29% to 23.7%. The steakhouse quietly trimmed headcount by 9 and shaved £800,000 off payroll just to keep lights on. Those books mirror a broader unraveling. Internal memos leaked to reporters peg global revenue down double digits in 2024 as 5 US closures vaporized what once supplied a third of corporate cash flow. European franchisees delayed royalty payments. A planned Rome opening slid to indefinite status after lenders balked at revised forecasts. Behind the scenes, imported Japanese A5 Wagyu was replaced by cheaper Australian cuts. Once burnished copper pans went unpolished, staff meal stipends vanished. Managers were instructed to upsell gold leaf on every steak to plug revenue gaps, fueling online jokes that the only thing rarer than the meat was a full dining room. Private equity partners who bought into meme momentum quietly wrote down stakes by up to 40% in Q2 2025. One investor call described the brand as glitter glued to a shrinking balance sheet. Expansion capital dried up. The company's revolving credit facility was renegotiated at punitive rates. June 2nd, 2025. Footage circulates of Salt Bae being escorted away from Paris Saint-Germain's Champions League after-party in Munich. He insists it was a misunderstanding, but the clip, watched 17 million times in 48 hours, shows security waving him off while guests filter inside. Comment sections mock, "Even the bouncers won't pay $99 for a milkshake." A week later, a London corporate client cancels a £40,000 buyout, citing reputational concerns. Socialist whisperers note high-profile absences. No more soccer stars live-streaming the sprinkle, no rappers brandishing six-figure receipts. Instead, influencers farm views by recreating his pose at budget BBQ joints, hashtagged #SaltFade. Even at rock bottom, the chef's social reach remains colossal. 52 million plus Instagram followers as of July 2025, a ready-made megaphone for any comeback narrative. But follower graphs don't pay rent. Foot traffic graphs do, and those are pointed south. Corporate press releases trumpet Latin American growth, highlighting a Mexico City launch penciled for late 2025. Yet the same dispatch confirmed Las Vegas, Dallas, and a New York branch had all shuttered, erasing 3 U.S. revenue pillars in 5 months. Freshly filed accounts show London turnover imploding from £13.6 million, 2022, to £9.3 million, 2023, a notable dip. Analysts note that a single London site once bankrolled overseas openings. Now it barely covers London rent. 7 wage theft and discrimination suits remain in the pipeline. Tip-sharing settlements already cost $230,000 in New York. Counsel familiar with the docket warn future judgments could eclipse the Vegas build-out budget. June 2025 supplied the most symbolic gut punch yet. Viral clips appear to show Salt Bae escorted away from PSG's Champions League after-party in Munich, triggering headlines that labeled the scene embarrassing and the sad decline of an internet icon. FIFA's ongoing review of his World Cup trophy grab remains the standing reminder that celebrity access can vanish overnight. Football organizers from the US Open Cup to regional leagues have publicly joked about lifetime bans, amplifying a perception that doors once flung open on clout are now deadbolted. Cost cuts now reach the plate. Cheaper Australian ribeyes replace Japanese A5 Wagyu, gold leaf upsells push harder, and London staff whisper about the heating being switched off between lunch and dinner to shave utility bills. Margins cling to life support, but at the cost of the premium fantasy the brand sells. Like, comment, and subscribe will be appreciated. See you on the next video!